All right. Welcome to Skol Sessions, Episode 3. I am your host, Erik, owner and head coach at Viking Athletics. It's December 2021. I'm feeling super festive for those that aren't watching the video here. Got my lovely Roadhouse Christmas sweater on. Be nice until it's time to not be nice. Double Deuce, 1989. If you haven't seen it, go watch. Enjoy. And of course, my ever-present Santa Claus hat that I wear every day I'm in the gym in December, which makes perfect sense because it's 65 degrees outside for some reason. So, my Sam Winter Lager here. Cheers to all that. Super fitting and seasonal warmth here. Anyway, just me today. No guest on the show, so I'm going to do my best to keep it down to under 30 minutes. I'm sure nobody wants to hear me continue pontificating about programming. So instead, what we're going to talk about today is the nature of the coach-athlete relationship. And the reason for that, I've been having a number of conversations with people, and we've written a blog post recently about why we opted not to perform a hero or epic workout on Thanksgiving, and kind of ties well into what's coming up in the gym during the holiday season. In years past, we used to do a tradition called the 12 Pains of Christmas. It was something I inherited from my predecessor. So we'll get into that a little bit. And I think it's a nice piggyback off of our last session in which I had Danielle Marshall on the show, and he's a former professional athlete. I'm currently a coach. And it's nice to examine how the coach-athlete relationship develops over time, not just with one coach, but with you being an athlete, and kind of how that evolves as you start from a young age and progress to where we are now. So let's go ahead and unpack that. So when you start playing sports at a young age, a coach is essentially a dictator. You're going to do what they say really without questioning. And, the hope is that they're a benevolent dictator. And at the very least, they explain to you why you're doing what you're doing and what the payoff is going to be, so that you trust in their decision-making ability. And if you're playing a sport, obviously the development or your skill development is important, but ultimately the goal of a sport is to win. And you can dress that up however you want. We have leagues these days where people don't keep track of score, which if you're going to do that, you might want to do that before you teach kids how to count. Just my 2 cents on that. Obviously, it makes sense at a young age to not reward winners and losers, but at some point you have to make that jump. I'm not going to get into when I think it's appropriate versus when it's not, but suffice it to say, at some point you do need to make that jump. And then, as you grow as an athlete and learn more about the sports, hopefully you have a better, more involved relationship with the coach. I'm just thinking of high school football, where you start talking with the coach and you see people get moved around from position to position based on the needs of the team. And where they think you're going to flourish as an athlete based on your skills. So there's a little bit more give and take there. Certainly now more so than years ago, I think injuries and everything they're taken a little bit more into consideration. So your communication with the coach regarding injuries and how you're feeling is a lot more important. I distinctly remember just sucking it up and toughing it out through a number of injuries, but even watching professional sports, even where their athletes are paid to do that, they take it week to week. And again, there's a little bit more concern about the long-term health of the players and not just winning as the end-all be-all goal. And then, we get to where we are now. And obviously in the gym, our athletes are not paid professional athletes. You are here and you are paying us for a service. So it is a very different relationship than in a sports team or anything like that. So, what is the responsibility of the coach in this relationship? Well, again, what's the difference between a coach and a trainer? Already mentioned at a young age, coaches are basically, hopefully, benevolent dictators. That's kind of what I would call a trainer. It's a person that's going to tell you what to do so that you don't have to think. And for some people, that's all they want, and that's why they join a boutique style gym. Is the coach is going to tell them exactly what to do, and they're going to do it, and it's a place where they can go to escape from the decision making of your day to day life. And believe me, I get it. For me personally, if I had my way, I'd probably eat the exact same thing day in and day out. When I'm 100% dead on with my nutrition, if I'm losing weight for a weightlifting meet or what have you, that's what I'm going to do because it's one less decision I have to make. I have a lot of decisions to make in my day to day as a business owner. And if you look at Steve Jobs, I'm not a huge fan, and that's been well documented in various social media posts, etc. But that's besides the point. He wore the same thing every day because it was one less decision that he had to make. Decision fatigue is real. So for people looking for trainers just to tell them what to do, I get it. And that's perfectly fine. That's a service that's out there. What separates what we do from that is that we want buy-in on the part of our athletes. You are paying for coaching. And the difference between coaching and training, whereas the trainer just tells you what to do, the coach is a lot more of a guide or an educator. So it is our job to help you develop the results that you want. So while we offer small group training, and that's the vast majority of what we do in the gym, we do offer individualized programming, which is remote. You basically pay for a program and do it on your own. We offer remote coaching, where we provide feedback on what you do through that program. You submit results, you submit video feedback, and we can correct your form remotely. And we also do personal training. And those services are probably our highest ticket items. They are the premium services because it is 100% tailored to you as an individual. And it's the fastest way that you're going to be able to achieve your goals. We write these programs and deliver our service with your goals in mind. Step down from that would be the group training, and we offer CrossFit, powerlifting, weightlifting, and we're going to tell you which program we think is best suited to your goals, and we'll help you achieve the best results. But that's on you to let us know what your goals are. And that's why we started offering free goal setting sessions where you can meet one-on-one with a coach. It's 15 minutes. You tell us what your goals are. You tell us what's holding you back or what you think is holding you back from achieving those goals. And we're going to prescribe the best path forward. Maybe you need help with nutrition. Great. We do nutrition coaching. We spend pretty much an hour a day in the gym. There's 23 other hours in the day. And what you're doing outside of that is vastly more important than your 1 hour. We've said it before and we'll say it again. You cannot out-train a bad diet. As I sit here drinking a beer. Cheers. So our goal in teaching you what's involved is to get you to buy in a little bit more, and so that you have some ownership over the process. So again, coaching is a lot more about educating and guiding our clients. So you tell us what it is you're trying to do, and we're going to give you suggestions on how to get there. Based on our my conversations with some clients over the last week and a half or so, that's part of the reason I'm doing this podcast on this topic. It is abundantly clear that what people want to do is very rarely what is best for them. As I sit here drinking a beer, that is not best for me in maintaining my health. Alcohol is literally a poison, but it's delicious, and I'm going to include it in part of my life. So when I work with my own coach, who I pay, uh, that is factored into everything that I'm doing. He's not going to tell me to cut it out completely. He acknowledges that I could achieve my goals a hell of a lot faster if I was 100% abstinent from alcohol. But he recognizes that it's something I enjoy and he doesn't want to cut it out completely. And, we do the same thing with our nutrition coaching approach. As soon as we cut things out, that's when people start to crave them, and that's when you're more likely to fail because you're going to overindulge. So it's our job as coaches to come up with strategies to help you get where you want to go without making your life miserable. Now, that being said, when it comes to the gym, the feedback that I got was from a member that was, number one, doesn't really do our CrossFit program, but they read my blog post, and their 2 cents was that people want those epically long workouts and they like being beaten into the ground. And I agree with that. People do like that. A lot of times people want to feel the workout, so to speak. And that's a problem because feeling the workout is a terrible metric for how effective the workout is. It's easy to beat people into the ground. I could do that day in, day out. You're going to burn out, you're probably going to get hurt, and you're not going to make progress. So a lot of times our perceived notions of progress are very inaccurate. The scale, when it comes to weight as a goal, the scale is very inaccurate. And sometimes we don't really need to care about weight. That's only one metric. When most people try to lose weight, what they're more focused on is body composition than the actual number on the scale. So the scale is only one metric. I can't tell you how many women I've worked with that want to just get toned, and before my brain aneurysm ruptures trying to delve into that subject, suffice it to say the look that they're going for is more, they want to have lean muscle exposed enough to see it. So the things that people do to try to get there, excessive amounts of cardio, starving themselves, are not conducive to burning fat or building muscle, which are the two things you need to do to have that leaned, toned look. So frequently we tend to pick the things that are worst for us based on feelings alone. We are very bad at being our own disciplinarians. We can't hold ourselves accountable for a lot of things. This is why we outsource and pay to coaches, or pay coaches to keep us accountable. So education is one big side of the coin here. And the other side would be the accountability piece. And I know for me personally, I have programmed for myself. Programming is my area of expertise. Been doing it for well over a decade. I can program for myself, but when I'm left to my own devices, I'm going to pick things that I like. I'm not going to pick things that are going to help me improve, and I'm going to stagnate. I'm also going to fall into the trap. Danielle mentioned this in our last session, that if he doesn't work out for a while, he feels awful and he needs to punish himself. And that's a very common feeling that I think everybody can relate to. And I'm actually thrilled that a former professional athlete said that, because it shows that we're all in the same boat, and that's part of being human. But when you get after it and have one super intense session to make up for a lack of consistency, you essentially knock yourself out of training for the next several days and ensure that you're not going to be able to reestablish that consistency. So once again, what we feel and what we want is one of the worst things for us. So that is why people pay for coaching, is not just for education, but for that accountability piece. And as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be an ongoing discussion so that we can do things that you like, as well as the things that are going to make you better. We need to do both because we need to keep you engaged and ensure that you are going to come back day in and day out. If I wanted people to get 100% the best results out of CrossFit, you would probably have 3 weeks of repeat workouts with increased volume or load from week to week. You would do the same thing every day of the week for 3 weeks. That would ensure that your body gets the maximal adaptation to that stimulus before you're accustomed to those movement patterns, and then we would start all over again. And frankly, that's boring, and people wouldn't stick to it. So our job, or my job rather, as the head coach and programming director of the CrossFit affiliate, CrossFit Relentless, part of Viking Athletics, is to find that balance between novelty and repetition so that you can improve with the same skills and develop movement fluency without getting bored. So that is the challenge that I have, and that is the service that we deliver to you. There's a happy medium there, and every now and again we're going to throw in a brutal workout. We're going to throw in benchmark workouts. We use those as metrics. We do Murph every year because it's essentially CrossFit holiday. It's for a great cause. We tend to celebrate the patriotic holidays a little bit more than, say, Thanksgiving, and we're going to prepare you for that. So today is Wednesday. We have Fran this Friday, and we've been building to that. We test these benchmarks to show that you're making progress. If I wanted to do something like that every week and beat you into the ground just so you feel the workout, it's going to hurt you, especially when you consider that our average member is 39 years of age. We can't keep training like we're 18 and invincible. It's just not realistic. More importantly, I already mentioned doing a workout to punish yourself. It's very common, and CrossFitters in general are very intense people, myself included, and unfortunately there is a negative attitude for a lot of us when it comes to food. And that's not unique to CrossFit. That is all around society. I see the same memes every year for Thanksgiving, for Halloween, for Christmas. How many burpees do you need to do to burn off this candy bar? And that is a very, very toxic relationship to have with food. Exercise should never be punishment. The fact that you are able to exercise, that you are able to perform these movements, that should be celebrated. Your body is capable of tremendous things. And if you are using it to punish yourself for some perceived imperfection, we have a problem. So part of the reason we didn't do an epic workout on Thanksgiving is because I'm hearing more and more about people, I'm hearing our members say, oh man, I went to the bar last night, I gotta work all that off. If you indulge yourself, or if you indulge in food, and that's really what Thanksgiving has turned into, it's centered around a feast. Hopefully you're celebrating family and everything else, but let's be honest, people tend to pig out on it. Good. You are choosing a higher priority than your health plan, whatever that is. And frankly, from a mental health perspective, it's good to indulge like that every once in a while. Not everybody can eat the same thing every day. I know I'm in the minority here when it comes to that, but again, that's because I'm constantly making decisions and it's exhausting. So consistency there and taking away that choice just helps my mental health. For other people, variety is the spice of life. Oh, and interestingly enough, I would be content to follow the same program for 3 days or for 3 weeks in a row, and largely the program I'm on with my coach, other than 2 lifts a week, everything is repeated from week to week for 3 weeks. That's how my cycle goes. That's how my accessory work runs. And I have a lot less variability in my program than what I give to you guys. So again, it's important to understand why you're doing what you're doing. And that's why we go out of our way to talk about our programming, to tell you what the goal of the workout is. And we try to tailor it to the individual. So we scale the workout to you so that you can get the best possible result out of that workout. If you want to take it a step further, that's where the individual program design would go. That's, again, the difference between, let's call it individualization and scaling, whereas scaling is the tailoring of the workout to you. But at the end of the day, this is your journey. And we mentioned accountability. It's your job to let us know how you're doing. Are you being consistent? Are you being compliant? It's our job to provide you with the best possible advice to get you where you want to go. But we do want you to take ownership in this journey. You are a functioning adult. It's your money. You're paying for this service. It's our job to deliver that service. And if you're not compliant because you don't like what's going on, it's your job to let us know. And we can try to figure out a way. Maybe it's a different program. Maybe you need individualized programming. Maybe you'd rather go to a spin studio because that's more in your line of thinking and that's what's going to keep you compliant. Whatever the case may be, it's our job to try to provide you with a service that's going to get you where you want to go. So, the job of the coach is to educate, to hold accountable, and to tailor the service to the individual, to deliver the results that you're paying for. The job of the athlete is to converse with the coach and keep us updated with your honest progress. If you're not making progress, to talk to us about what's going on and to engage us in conversation about how to get to where you want to go. If you don't tell us there's a problem, we won't know. We can't solve it if we don't know there's a problem. So it's your fitness journey. Own it, but keep us in the loop so that we can help get you where you want. That's what you're paying for. That's why we charge so much, is because we're trying to deliver the best possible results through the highest possible level of service. And if you're sitting there, just paying us month after month, but you're not happy because either you're not showing up or something else is going on, you're not sleeping, your nutrition is off, whatever the case may be, that's on you. Common expression, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I would twist that and say, I can show you the door, but it's up to you to walk through it. That's our job as coaches, is to guide you there, guide you along the journey, and get you where you want to go. But at the end of the day, I'm not carrying you on this journey. It's your journey. We're just there to help. So, I'll leave you with this. Think about why you're at the gym in the first place. What is it that brings you back to the gym day in and day out? What keeps you engaged? What is your why? What are you looking to achieve? Maybe it's the way you look. Vanity is a very powerful motivator, and there's nothing wrong with that, provided that you don't obsess over it. For some people, they have an old dress or an old pair of jeans or something that has very sentimental value, and they want to fit into it again. That's a lot more powerful of a motivator than just saying, I want to lose weight. So think about it and be very specific. What is it that's driving the weight loss? What is it that's driving your need to get stronger? There's a great commercial that came out a year ago, and it's perfect in terms of storytelling. It's a older gentleman who gets out of bed. He's looking at a photo, and it motivates him to try to pick up a kettlebell and extend it with straight arms out in front of him. He can't do it. He loses motivation. He gets up. He starts walking again. He starts working with the kettlebell every day. And his neighbors and everybody else is looking at him like he's absolutely crazy. The kids are actually inspired in the neighborhood, and they start walking with him. At the very end, it's Christmas Eve. He shows up to his daughter's house in a full suit. His granddaughter comes down the stairs. He picks her up and extends her out with straight arms so she can put the star on top of the tree. Very, very moving commercial. Absolutely brilliant. advertisement. And for him, his why was being able to do that with his granddaughter. I know a lot of people that want to be able to keep up with their kids. They want to be able to function in life without feeling winded and without feeling like they are truly helpless and broken. So again, think about what is it that motivates you to get stronger. Why is it you want to lose weight? Focus on that motivation and come talk to us about what it is you're trying to achieve so that we can help you get there. It's your job to own the journey. It's our job to walk with you. And that is the client-athlete relationship as we see it here at Viking Athletics. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next month. Happy holidays if I don't see you. And we'll see you in the new year. Cheers.